You know this exact moment. The low hum of a crowded room, ambient light catching their profile. The impulse fires. You want to walk over, you want to speak, and then the invisible wall hits. Your stomach drops, your throat tightens. An internal voice, cold and rational, whispers, "Not now, they're busy. You'll look desperate." You freeze, you order another drink, you walk away, and then you tell yourself a very expensive lie. You tell yourself that people who can effortlessly cross the room are just built differently, that they were born with some mythical resistance to fear, that they don't hear the static in their head telling them to wait, hesitate, stay put. You're wrong. This isn't shyness. It isn't a defective confidence gene. It's an evolutionary glitch. Your brain is misreading social risk as a survival threat, hijacking your nervous system to protect you from a jungle that no longer exists. The people who approach strangers with ease are not braver than you. They are not immune to fear. They have simply, often without realizing it, learned how to exploit a bug in the human threat detection system. Today, we're going to dissect that bug. No pickup lines, no fake alpha posturing, no performance. Just 4 psychological mechanisms that make an interaction feel less like an intrusion and more like a natural connection. Picture the standard approach. A guy spots a woman across the room. He hypes himself up, crosses the distance, steps into her space, and drops a rehearsed line. He's trying to be smooth. He's trying to project confidence. He's trying to make an impression. Now watch her reaction in slow motion. Her shoulders tense. Her smile tightens. She leans back, almost imperceptibly, creating distance. Within seconds, the interaction is already dying. A wave of instinctive rejection hits. The ick. Why? Because to her nervous system, this did not feel like chemistry. It felt like an ambush. The human amygdala is brutally primitive. It does not understand modern dating. It does not care how clever your opener is. It monitors one thing above all else: sudden change. So when you appear out of nowhere and force someone to go from 0 social engagement to full engagement in a single second, you are not flirting. You are triggering a threat scan. Cortisol rises, defenses go up. The walls come up before your first sentence even lands. That's why so many approaches fail before the conversation has even begun. You do not fight the amygdala. You hack it. Step 1. Social priming. Before you ever open your mouth, you give the other person's brain time to process you. Brief eye contact. A fraction of a smile. Then you look away. You don't stare. You don't linger. You don't orbit. You simply register your presence in their visual field. This triggers the mere exposure effect. By the time you actually walk over, you are no longer a sudden, unpredictable variable. Their brain has already processed your face, your body language, your general energy. You have already been lightly categorized as familiar and non-threatening, so the approach stops feeling like an intrusion. It starts feeling like a continuation. And that alone changes the emotional tone of the first 30 seconds. Now you're standing in front of them. The ambient noise fades. The pressure spikes. For years, the standard advice was simple. Project confidence. Hide the nerves. Wear the mask. Pretend you don't care. The problem is that this takes an enormous amount of cognitive effort, and it usually fails. People are extremely sensitive to emotional mismatch. When your body is broadcasting tension, but your face is trying to project effortless calm, they feel the performance. They may not be able to explain it, but they feel that something is off. So step 2 is the opposite of what most people do. You stop trying to suppress the anxiety. You turn anxiety into a weapon. Behavioral researchers call this emotional reappraisal. When you name the tension out loud, you interrupt its grip. The nerves stop running the interaction. That's why a line like this works so well.
I'll be honest. I spent the last 3 minutes trying to talk myself out of coming over here.
On paper, it sounds like social suicide. In reality, it does 3 things at once. First, it dissolves the hidden tension. Second, it strips away the performance. Third, it triggers the pratfall effect, a controlled moment of vulnerability that makes you feel more human, more real, and often more attractive. Most of all, it makes the other person feel chosen. You were nervous. You still came over. That lands very differently from someone who walks up acting like they do this 10 times a night. Now the conversation begins. This is where most people make the next mistake. They try to impress. They start performing, selling themselves, listing qualities, proving value, turning the interaction into a subtle pitch. And that kills chemistry fast. Because now the other person feels the burden of evaluation. They are no longer in a conversation, they are in a live audition. So step 3 is this. Replace presentation with curiosity. Not fake curiosity, not checklist questions, not scripted banter. Real curiosity. Slow, deliberate questions, genuine interest. The kind that makes the other person feel fully noticed rather than casually scanned. When people talk about themselves, the brain activates reward circuitry associated with pleasure and reinforcement. That is one reason attentive, curious people are consistently perceived as more charismatic and more attractive. People do not just respond to what you say, they respond to how they feel in your presence. And often, what they remember most is not how impressive you were, it's how seen they felt while talking to you. Now, let's solve the mystery from earlier. The guy who got rejected almost instantly didn't fail because he used the wrong line. He failed because he remained an anonymous threat. He didn't prime, he didn't disarm, he just arrived with pressure. So, step 4 is one of the simplest and most underused tools in social interaction. The name. Human attention filters out almost everything, but there is one sound that cuts through the noise almost every time. Your own name. Hearing it triggers recognition, relevance, familiarity. It creates an immediate sense of personal connection. So once you learn their name, use it naturally. Just once. That's actually a really interesting point, Sarah. That's enough. Do not overdo it. The second it feels tactical, it becomes manipulative. But used once, in the right place, it creates warmth far faster than most people know how to create. Here is the part most people misunderstand. The fear is not really rejection, it's uncertainty. But there is something worse than rejection. It's inaction. It's walking away, getting in your car, and spending the next 2 days replaying a conversation that never happened. It's your mind simulating alternate realities where you said one sentence and changed the entire outcome of the night. That is the real cost. Because rejection is just data. A brief, awkward interaction is not devastation. It is not a verdict on your worth. It is just information. A closed loop. A moment that passes. But regret lingers. Your brain will always generate catastrophic scenarios to keep you safe. It wants you invisible. It wants you quiet. It wants you protected from risk. But the worst-case scenario is usually small. A short conversation, a polite decline, a moment of discomfort that dissolves into the background. The best-case scenario? It can rewrite the trajectory of your life. The most meaningful relationships, the most important connections, the moments that alter everything, are often separated from you by 30 seconds of discomfort that most people refuse to endure. Your brain is not your enemy, it is just running old code. Now you know where the glitch is. Now you know how to bypass it. And that means the glitch is no longer an excuse. If you want to keep decoding the hidden architecture of human behavior, subscribe. We break down the invisible mechanics of attraction, fear, and connection every single week.